Click the Insert, Project, New Layout drop-down and select the ANSI Landscape Letter 8.5 by 11 template, first icon on the second row. A layout view opens. In Contents, change the layout name to Hazards Layout. In a layout view, the Contents pane has different panel icons. Hover over each icon to view its title, but stay in the first icon, List by Drawing Order. Examine the Insert ribbon. In a layout view, additional button groups are available, such as Map Frames, Map Surrounds, and Graphics. Click the Layout ribbon and examine its groups and commands. In the Layout Show group, the boxes for rulers and guides should be checked. No guides will be visible yet because they must be created first. On the top horizontal ruler, position the cursor at about 0.75 inches. Right-click and choose Add Guide. Right-click the blue guideline on the map and choose Remove Guide. Right-click on the top ruler at 0.75 inches again and choose Add Guides. For orientation, choose both. For placement, choose Offset from Edge. Edit the margin value if necessary to read exactly 0.75 inches. Click OK. In the Insert Map Frames group, click the drop-down on the Map Frame button and choose the second hazards map. The default choice opens with the default map extent. The second button uses the current map extent. A map frame appears in Contents. Rename it Hazards Map Frame. In the Layout view, click the resizing handle on the upper left corner and align it with the margin guide. Notice that the handle snaps to the guide when it gets close. Click the handle in the lower right corner and align it with the margin guide. In Contents, right-click the Hazards Map Frame and choose Properties. The Format Map Frame pane for the Hazards Map Frame appears. The drop-down, currently labeled Map Frame, controls which item is being modified. Use the drop-down to click and examine each choice, then set it back to Map Frame. Examine the panel icons and set it to the Placement panel. Verify that the X and Y positions are set to 0.75 inch. Set the frame size to 6 inches wide and 7 inches high. Clicking Tab after each change to set it and see the result. Open the Layout ribbon and examine the Navigate group. The icons appear different because they affect the layout page rather than the map. Click the Navigate tool and try to zoom and pan the map. In a layout view, the navigation tools affect the entire layout page. To change the extent of the map inside the frame must first be activated. In Contents, right-click the Hazards Map Frame and choose Activate. Notice the addition of the Activated Map Frame ribbon. Click the Map ribbon and use the Explore tool or the navigation tools to enlarge the hazards map so that Washington and Oregon are centered in the frame and fill the space. Recall that a right-click drag provides a continuous zoom function. When satisfied, choose Activated Map Frame, Layout, Map, Close Activation. Switch to the Hazards Map view. Zoom way out of the map. Click the Hazards Layout View tab to switch back to Layout View. The map extent set in the previous step has not changed. However, the content of the map frame is not independent of the map. Switch to the Hazards Map view and turn off the Volcanoes layer. Switch back to Hazards Layout view. The volcanoes are no longer visible. In Contents, expand the Hazards Map frame entry below the Hazards Layout name, if necessary. The Hazards Map and its layers appear. Turn the volcanoes back on. In the Contents pane, click the Hazards Layout entry. Click the Layout ribbon to see its contents. Click the Hazards Map Frame entry. A Map Frame Format ribbon appears, as well as a Format Map Frame pane. Click the ribbon and examine its contents. Click to highlight the Volcanoes feature layer. Examine the familiar Feature Layer ribbon set when it appears. In Contents, right-click the Hazards Map frame and choose Properties. In the Format Map Frame pane, click the Display Options icon. Under the Constraint heading, change the drop-box choice to Fixed Extent. In Contents, click the Hazards Layout entry to highlight it. Click the Insert Map Frames Map Frame drop-down and select the second, not default, USA map. In Contents, rename the new map frame USA Map Frame. Click and drag the new map frame to the right corner of the layout, snapping to the right and bottom margin guides. On the top ruler, right-click at about 7 inches and choose Add Guides. Choose a vertical guide in a single location at exactly 7 inches. Click OK. Use the resizing handles to snap the left side of the USA map frame to the new guide. In Contents, right-click the USA map frame entry and choose Activate. Use the Map and Navigate group buttons to center the lower 48 states in the map frame, making the map as large as possible. Now the frame is too tall, though. Choose the Map Frame Format ribbon. In the Size and Position group, set the height to 2.0. And click the Tab key to enter the value. Click the Map Navigate Explore button and make final adjustments to the position of the map within the frame. Click the Activated Map Frame Layout Map Close Activation button. In Contents, right-click the USA Map Frame entry and choose Properties. In the Format Map Frame pane, click the Display Options panel icon and set the constraint to Fixed Extent. In Contents, expand the USA map frame to show the USA map if necessary, and click to select it. Click the Insert Map Frames Extent Indicator drop-down and select the Hazards map frame. The Format Extent Indicator pane opens, and an Extent of Hazards map frame item appears in the Contents pane, currently selected. In the Format Extent Indicator pane, click the symbol representation and then switch from the gallery to the Properties heading. Change the outline color to dark orange and the outline width to 3 point. Click Apply. In Contents, click the second icon to open the List by Element Type panel. Expand the hazard map frame and its contents if necessary. Collapse the legends of the individual layers in the hazards map to see all of the elements more clearly. Click the Insert Text drop-down and examine the available tools. Click the Text tool. In the layout, click offshore of the stage, which creates a small label, Text. Notice that a text entry also appears in the Contents pane. The text is highlighted, ready to replace. Type Pacific Ocean. Once created, the text label can be edited numerous ways. In the map, place the mouse on the text to show an insertion bar used to edit the text. Place the mouse near the text to show a black arrow used to select the text box. Select the text box. Click and drag one of the square handles to resize the text. Find the Rotate symbol under the middle bottom of the text. Click and drag to rotate the text to vertical. Click and drag on top of the text box to move it. In Contents, or on the map, double-click the text entry to open its properties in the Format Text pane. Explore the settings under each tab, icon, and heading in the pane. In the Text Symbol tab, under the General icon, expand the Appearance heading and give the text an Arial 18-point blue italic symbol. Click Apply. Keep the Format Text pane open for a while, docked where convenient. Let's try a different text tool. Move the Pacific Ocean text to the margin for now. Click the Insert Text drop-down and select the Curved Text tool. Note that this icon is now the one shown on the ribbon. Click to enter the vertices of a line that curves along the coast of Oregon and Washington from south to north. Double-click to end the line. Type Pacific Ocean. The text appears splined along the entered line. A second Text 1 element appears in the Contents pane, selected. Click on the map to finish entering the text. Open the Text Format ribbon and use the text symbol group settings to give the text an Arial 24-point blue italic symbol. In the Format Text pane, use the text symbol, Formatting settings to change the letter spacing to 100%. Click Apply. In Contents, right-click the text element, the first label, and choose Delete. To make it easier to identify, click on the Text 1 element name in Contents and edit it to Pacific Ocean. Click the Insert Text Default Text Symbol drop-down, looks like AA, and select the title sans serif symbol under the Layout section near the bottom. In the text group, select the text drop-down, now showing as curved text, and select the text tool. Click to the right of the main map frame. Type Pacific Northwest, press Enter, and type volcanic hazards on the next line. In Contents, click the new text entry and rename it Title. In the Format text pane, use the text symbol, General, Position Settings to set the horizontal alignment to centered. Click Apply. In the Layout view, move the cursor close to the new text and select it. Move it to the center top of the space, using the vertical and temporary center guides to snap it into place. Click the Insert Text Default Text Symbol AA drop-down and select the subtitle sans serif symbol. Repeat the previous steps to add the text by your name, centered under the title. In Contents, rename the new text element Author. Save the project. In Contents, expand the Hazards Map frame and Hazards Map. Click the Capitals layer to highlight it. Click the Feature Layer, Labeling, Layer Label tool to turn on the labels. Use the labeling ribbon to set the label properties to 10-point Tahoma bold text. In the text symbol group on the ribbon, click the Options button, tiny arrow in the lower right corner, to open the Label Class pane. In the Label Class pane, use the Symbol, General, Halo settings, and give the labels a 2-point halo. Close the Label Class pane. In Contents, select the Volcanoes layer and open the Feature Layer Labeling ribbon. Set the label field to Known Erupt, the font to Arial 8-point, and turn on the labels. In the Label Placement group, choose the Centered Point style. Click the Options button for the text symbol group to open the Label Class pane. Open the Symbol, General, Position settings, and set the Offset Y to -3-point to center the labels better in the symbol. Click Apply. Click the Feature Layer Labeling Label Class SQL button. In the Label Class pane, click Add Clause. Enter the expression Known Erupt is greater than 4. Click Add and click Apply. The labels for the smaller volcanoes disappear. Close the Label Class pane. If needed, click Analysis, Geoprocessing, Tools to open the Geoprocessing pane. In the Geoprocessing pane, search for and open the Make Feature Layer tool. Set the input features to volcanoes and the output layer to volcano names. Click Add Clause and enter the expression known erupt is greater than 4. Click Add and run the tool. In Contents, select the Volcano Names layer and use the Symbology pane to specify the Circle 1 symbol with a 1-point size and no color. Switch to the Labeling ribbon and turn on the labels. Change the text symbol to Arial 10-point bold font. Use the text symbol group options to create halos. In the Map group, click View Unplaced to see any unplaced labels in red. In the Labeling Label Placement group, set the style to upper right only. Click the Label Placement Group Options button to open the Label Class pane. Use the Symbol, General, Position settings to set the offset X to 4 point. Close the Label Class pane. In Contents, select the Highways layer and choose Feature Layer Appearance Drawing Symbology. Hold the Control key and click the Interstate and Freeway rows so that both are highlighted. Right-click a highlighted row and choose Group Values. Edit the label column for the new class and rename it Interstates. Use the up arrow to move it to the top of the legend. Repeat the previous step to group the arterial and unclassified classes together. Edit the label to rename it Highways. Click the Interstate symbol and set it to a 2-point simple brown line. Set the highway symbol to a 1-point line of the same color. In the Contents pane, select the first icon to open the List by Drawing Order panel. Expand the legend element again if needed to see the layers. To change the layer order if necessary, click and drag a layer to its new position. Volcanoes first, capitals next, then rivers, highways, counties, and states. Switch the Contents pane back to the List by Element Type panel. In Contents, expand elements under the Hazards map frame to view the volcano's legend. Click on the Known Erupt heading and edit it to read Eruptions. Expand the Counties layer and replace pop10_SQMI with persons per square mile. In Contents, click the Legend element to highlight it. In the Legend Format Current Selection group, change the drop-down to Layer Names. Change the font size to 14 point. Change the Current Selection drop-down to Headings. Set the font size to 12 point. In Contents, under Legend, right-click the Highways layer and choose Properties. In the Format Legend item pane, under the Show heading, uncheck the box for headings. Leave the pane open for now. In Contents, click the Legend element to switch to the Format Legend pane. Find the Legend Arrangement Options, Fitting Strategy Settings. Change the Fitting Strategy drop-down to Adjust Columns. Check the box to set equal widths. In Contents, under the Legend element, select the Highways layer. The Format Legend item pane appears. Under the Arrangement heading, check the box to keep in single column. In the Layout, resize the legend width to fit around the actual content. If made too small, part of the legend will disappear. Just size it larger to bring it back. Adjust the legend position, centering it between the guides and just below the title, leaving space underneath. Save the project. In Contents, select the Hazards Map Frame element. Click the Insert Map Surrounds Scale Bar drop-down and select Alternating Scale Bar 1. The scale bar appears on the map. Move the scale bar to the lower right corner of the Hazards map frame on top of Oregon. Use the Layout Navigate tool to zoom in and examine the scale bar. Switch to the Layout Elements Select tool. Select the scale bar element and drag the right boundary of the scale bar to the left to decrease the length of the scale bar. Repeat until the scale bar is about 120 miles long. In the Scale Bar Design Divisions group, change Adjust Division Value to Adjust Number of Divisions. Set the division value in the top left box to 50 miles and set the subdivisions to 2. Examine the new scale bar. Resize it to 100 miles and place it neatly in the lower right corner of Oregon. Switch to the Scale Bar Format ribbon. In the Current Selection group, set the drop-down to Background. In the Background group, set the fill to Sand. Zoom to the entire layout page and save the project. In Contents, Select the Hazards Map Frame element. Click the Insert Map Surrounds north arrow drop-down and choose a slender, unobtrusive symbol, like ArcGIS North 5. The north arrow appears on the map. Click and drag the north arrow to the lower right corner of the hazards frame. Keep it small and unobtrusive. Open the north arrow design ribbon and examine the settings. In Contents, select the Hazards Map Frame element. Click the Insert Map Frames Grid drop-down and select the black vertical label graticule, the second option. The grid lines are distracting and unnecessary. In Contents, right-click the black vertical label graticule element and choose Properties. In the Format Map Grid pane, click the Components icon. Click the Grid Lines entry in the Components box. Underneath it, click the line symbol to edit it. In the Properties tab, use the Grid Lines, Properties, Symbol, Appearance settings to change the color to no color. Click Apply and close the Format Map Grid pane. Zoom to the section of Layout below the legend. Click the Insert Text drop-down and select the Rectangle tool. Click and drag to create a box inside the blank area below the legend. Type the following citation into the box without using any Enter keys. Click outside the text box to finish the data entry. Click to select the text box. Open the Text Format ribbon and set the font to Arial 10 point. Adjust the text box to fit neatly in the space available. Zoom back to the full layout page. Save the project before printing, always a wise move. Click Share, Print, Layout. Select the printer or adjust the settings if needed. When ready, click Print. In the Catalog pane, expand the Layouts heading. Right-click the Hazards layout and choose Copy. Right-click the Layouts heading and choose Paste. Click twice slowly on the Hazards Layout 1, the new one, and rename it Layout Practice. Click Share, Export, Layout. Choose the location and name for the image file. The project folder, but not inside the Project geodatabase, is often a good choice. Set the Save As type to PDF. Check the resolution and image quality. The minimum resolution for printing should be about 300 dpi. It could be lower for a web or screen image. Click Export to save the map.